I'm going to talk about an NFT community that is super exciting, and there's tons of valuable lessons for those that are building their own communities. NFT communities are going gangbusters now, and it's just incredible. I am super geeking out on this. Today we're going to be looking at an NFT community called Animetas. Animetas is an avatar collection of unique avatars. I think there's over 10,000 in total, and they're really cool. This community has a very, very active Discord. But firstly, let me tell you what Animetas is. I will go take a look at the community on Discord and some of the major learnings if you are managing your own community. What are some of the key takeaways that you can learn from this community? Firstly, like I mentioned, Animetas is an avatar collection, and Animetas themselves are virtual entities of humans and other species who are minted on the Ethereum blockchain. They live in the Animetaverse, which is a virtual world. If you haven't heard about the metaverse, look it up, Google it. This is going to be the next big thing. The Animetaverse is inspired by 80s and 90s pop culture, and you can see some of the really, really cool avatars here and how unique they look. What's really cool about this collection is it's inclusive. They are going to include different species. It has a 1-to-1 female to male ratio, which I love. It has trans representation, characters of all ages, and the developers say a lot more surprises in store. The variety of traits is unprecedented, so they'll have hundreds of types of clothes, hairstyles, hats, masks, and more. And I think that's just really, really exciting. You know, thinking about the representation of characters, the uniqueness as well, and how human beings identify with these avatars. So firstly, I want to say a great job to the developers at Pixel. Gustavo, who's a well-known pixel artist and super, super talented, has a loyal following, and at CyberH49, who you can also follow on Twitter. I think what's really cool about the developers is they have shared their roadmap and their dream for this collection. And it's one thing that I've noticed throughout this project is the transparency from the developers. So with the roadmap, for instance, you can see here the first thing they're going to do after the initial drop, like they've just laid it out. This is their plan. If you're part of the community, you feel like, okay, cool, we've got it. We know what these developers are going to be working on. Here's the roadmap straight up on their website. They're working on 2 airdrops, each of 10,000 unique pieces to complement the avatars, hover cars, and weapons, which I think is really interesting. This will complement the avatars and hopefully take the whole thing to the next level. We're talking about the Animetaverse as well. So in the Animetaverse, it's not just about the avatars, it's about everything that exists to amplify the avatars to the next level. I love how they've said that they have high standards, so they estimate each drop will take 2 to 3 months. They're managing expectations straight up to their community. They're also starting a creative process of the Animetas project, which is the pets of Animetaverse. I know that they've just dropped the monkeys, which I believe are going to complement the avatars, and potentially if you combine these monkeys with the avatars in future, they may create special powers. That's sort of what I'm thinking happens with it, but we will see. In parallel, they're going to start working on collabs with community members, and again, now we're seeing how they envision the project working with the community. What they've done is they've started to work on amplifying the voices of their community members. The community members are encouraged to make art on these avatars, and I'll show you that a little later. The developers are looking to work with the community members, and in doing so, community are getting really excited about this because they can get super involved and join in on the project. So community members can make physical and metaverse merch and wearables to further this project. After the airdrops, they're going to be working on retro arcade games, which I think is super cool. It's a nod to the 80s and 90s world that these Animetas have been based on. Hover car racing sounds pretty fun. I think the classic fighting games is where it's at, to be honest. I'm thinking Street Fighter, but, you know, Animetas version. And if I have my avatar that I own, I could fight other Animetas. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool, right? Like I could maybe have my monkey join in on the fight and it would like give me special powers. I don't know. I'm like totally geeking out on it. I can see how this is very exciting for a lot of people. Now, I love their 5th point in their roadmap because this is where the developers are laying it out there and telling the community all about their dreams for this project. Where they really want to head to is a comic and TV series of the Animetas. They don't know how or when it will happen. I just love how they're just like sending it out there to the universe. They just know that they will make it happen. And the community has really rallied behind the vision of these developers. Now let's take a look at the Discord. All right, so now you can see how crazy the Discord is. I mean, look at the emoji responses to announcements that they've made. I mean, yeah, this is on fire, you guys. Right, so just to wind back a bit, the Animetas team launched a new collection recently called the Animonkeys, and this is before their huge drop of the Animetas on July 31st. You can see here Cyber H49, one half of the Animetas team, totally acknowledging, so we know that many of you here are first-time NFT minters, and we know it must be really, really stressful that everyone is talking about how many they will mint and discuss gas wars and thinking to yourselves, I don't know what any of this means. So they've made a guide that will help their members get through their first minting smoothly and really acknowledge that this is not going to be an easy process. Talking their members through this. This is where you can learn a lot from how the developers are communicating with their members. The developers are really focused on a fair and equitable mint for everyone, especially first timers. They didn't want first timers to be screwed, and unfortunately that kind of happened. Let's fast forward to after this first mint happened. People got screwed. They got charged gas fees. They got no monkeys. To put it bluntly, the drop did not go down well. There were a lot of failed transactions. I mean, it's tough. We're talking about something that's really, really new. This isn't selling something on Shopify. This is not an easy thing to drop new avatars and expect things to go smoothly when you have a ton of people that are really, really interested in the collection and there's a lot of excitement about it. And unfortunately, things just do go wrong when you're doing something new. So there were some failed transactions. People lost out and weren't able to get these really cool looking Animonkeys. There was a fair bit of disappointment in the community when this happened. They actually were charged gas fees, like transaction fees, and didn't get a monkey. And there was a lot of frustration at the time when this happened, and the developers had to work really hard. The team responded by saying, if you did get screwed, we're going to make sure that on the next drop, you're not going to get screwed, and that maybe they get their gas fees refunded, maybe they are insured a secure Animeta avatar. So just firstly, the fact that the community's voices were heard and the developers were taking notice of how people were really frustrated. They jumped on this really, really quickly. There's also these issues where people are trying to sell the mint link. There was talk of people being able to get 30 monkeys whilst others were not getting any and getting charged the gas fees, etc. I think the learnings are, if you're super, super transparent and you can see that the developers are trying really, really hard to make sure that it's equitable, to make sure that it's fair for their community members, to make sure that anyone that got screwed over will be treated fairly, and they will ensure that they're not screwed over in the next drop, that they're given additional privileges in future to make sure that they manage to get an avatar. Look at this is the developer. He is just on fire with the communications, and the community members are responding to that, grateful that they're being heard. They're sharing the true links to the collections. This is the secondary market links, and there are scams out there. So Again, they had to work really hard to make sure that the community wasn't getting scammed. I just love seeing all these responses. And if you're managing a community and you're like, oh my god, my community is dead, come here to be inspired. This is the Animetas Discord. Holy crap, this is a dream for a community manager to see all these people responding. Let's take a look at the way that they've structured the Discord. You can see that they've got an info section, FAQ, server rules, giveaways, and a calculate discount. These are just sort of like the general information. Server rules is your house rules. They've kept it really simple. I love that they've got this, zero tolerance policy for any toxic behavior. They will be removed. Don't get scammed. The house rules are really about looking after the community members. No politics, this community is diverse, holds diverse opinions, let's respect that. This is 101 on managing community. I just absolutely love the simplicity of their house rules. They're not long, it's 10 rules, it's basic stuff, but done well. The FAQs, it's clearly a bot that they've used here. These are really, really basic FAQs, and I think they've kept it pretty simple. It would have been helpful to have some more FAQs added here, but maybe that's in the works. They have giveaways as well. This is to really encourage more engagement in the community, and it's exciting to see people being awarded free Animetas. You can see how many entrants joined the competition, so just over 1,600 people would enter competitions, and I'm not entirely sure what this calculate discount is. There are a lot of channels, but they're organized. And you've got the intro, for instance. The welcomes is just the generic welcome channel on Discord. I don't really pay attention to that. The sneak peeks are really, really cool. This is to encourage excitement. Look how excited people are to be able to see these sneak peeks. People are able to get excited and keep an eye on what's coming. Look at this. Are you ready for Animonkeys? And they've put it as a shadow. I think that's super cool what they've done there. It's just like a sneak peek. Animetas tweet, so they have Twitter. They just connected their Twitter using Tweet Shift, which is a bot, so that people don't have to go check Twitter as well. That's something that you should consider if you have your own community on several different platforms. Just connect your Twitter to this and have your tweets all in one place. Here's the announcements channel. I talk a lot about how you don't really need an announcements channel if you have a general, but I guess for these guys, they have so much going on when it comes to the drops. I mean, this is a huge amount of information that needs to be sent to their community. I think when you have something like NFT drops, etc., it does make sense to have a separate announcement channel. Let's just look at what they do in the general channel. The general channel is just like general chat. General chatter. I think in this case, it just makes sense to have an announcements where you can go and check absolutely everything without all the other random chatter in between. So it makes sense. This channel I love a lot. It's the ideas channel. The reason I love this channel is because you're getting community feedback on what should be the next drop, what should be the next avatar that they should create. It's community first, right? We talk about how community can give you a lot of feedback on your products, on your services, in this case on the next NFT that they're going to be creating, the ideas around collabs, who should they collab with in the metaverse. It's just really, really interesting. You've got people addressing the mod team, I'll talk about that in a little bit. You've got people in the community recommending how the project should be managed. It's all done in a really, really nice way. And again, they've shared their mission. This is a diverse collection. This is an inclusive collection. They've shared their house rules. They've shared the way their project will be run, and in doing so, you see that a lot of the comments in their community very much around this theme of inclusiveness, not being a dick, basically. I see this in the conversations. It's just like really, really good people that are passionate about this avatar collection. I haven't seen the spam. It's been moderated really well. You can see the excitement in the community. I want to jump to the mod part. They have these junior Animod applications. So I guess they have moderators in the group that they call Animods, and everything is branded really well, right? Like you've got Animetas, the Animetaverse. You've got the Animetas tweets, Animetas music, Animetas, it's Animods. So Annie something, and I think that's just, it's really well done that they're sticking true to their brand. It's definitely got that anime inspired vibe that people resonate with. Talk a lot about how do you build and scale up a community in a sustainable way. You should consider your most passionate community members as people that can become moderators or ambassadors and help you manage the community, because one community manager cannot manage this entire community. It's not possible. You need to recruit people to help you with that, and it's just so much more effective if you find people that are super passionate about this project and are super passionate about your mission. So they have this channel that is around applications. How cool is that? It's just a channel where if you want to become a mod, then apply here. You can see this Burgo man, his name is Sean, he's dropped his Twitter. They have questions, who are you? Why do you want to join the Animod team? If you were a superhero, which one do you be? Like, a lot of their questions are actually really true to their community. Favorite anime and why? This is a really, really interesting way to recruit your mods. Consider this in future. Consider a channel just for people that want to become your mods. You've also got the Junior Animod discussions, Junior Animod questions, Junior Animod answers. Where do you see this community in 2 to 3 years? How cool is this? Given the roadmap and what I know, I can see this being a more interactive NFT project with a growing community with and without animators. Some will just be here for the fun, good vibes and games. Other services the server supports and is centered around. We'll have people from several walks of life here. Some here only for the games vibes. Others here simply because some profit can be gained. And you can see that there's a few other random channels like off topics. This is a bot that's sharing other random NFTs, I believe. And somebody's shared like Bitcoin. So yeah, it's fine to have an off-topic channel that's a bit like the random channel. And good vibes, because the community is all about good vibes. So this is the equivalent of like memes channel or GIFs channel. I like how they've called it good vibes because it means that it's more open. It doesn't have to just be about, dumping memes in a channel. And then they've got a section just for Animonkeys. This is where people can actually share the monkeys that they managed to get. And Animonkeys Marketplace, so this is where if you have an Animonkey and you want to sell it on in the secondhand marketplace, they have created a channel for that. Now, the fan art is very cool. This is, again, where they're encouraging the community to get involved and create their own art around the project. It's really cool because it shows the creativity of people in the community, and members can react to the art like, oh my gosh, look how cool this is. You can definitely see that over time, this is where you'll get the comic art potentially happening. I can see artists from within this community being recruited to create some of these potential comics / TV episodes. As an artist, this is a great way for them to be recognized as well. Look at this. Animetas is a classic TV show. This is the dream, and community members are going ahead and creating the dream. It's just really cool to see that they've got a section for community members to share their own work, their own Twitter. A lot of the times community managers are so focused on, oh my gosh, let's keep the community members within our platform. But it should be broader than that. It should be more about members connecting with other members in any way that they want. And it will benefit your community in the longer term if you're not just so focused on pushing your own platform or pushing your own interests. You can see here that people can share their Twitter and others can follow them. I think it furthers the project. And share your stuff as well. If you're creating your own thing as a community member, this is all about amplifying your members' own projects and encouraging them to do so. These people are a group of people that are really into NFTs. They're really into the future of the metaverse. They're into the future of the, oh my God, I'm just like super distracted by what's on my screen now. Wow. Crypto Paint Boy. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is what it should be about. It shouldn't just be about pushing for people to buy Animetas. It's bigger than that. That's just a sneak peek in the community for Animetas. This is going to be super interesting to keep an eye on. The developers have been super transparent about what they're trying to achieve. They've shared their mission, they've shared their roadmap, they've owned up to the mistakes that they made on the Animonkeys drop. They are looking after the community members in future by making sure that they're taken care of with future drops. They've really helped amplify the voices of their community by allowing them to share their own artwork, their own creativity. They've got a whole section dedicated to how to scale up their community with the Animod applications. It's a community to watch. And if you're new to the NFT universe, I know it can feel super daunting, but just join a Discord because you'll learn so much just by watching how the developers and the mods respond to what's going on in their community. It's been really, really fun to see what these guys have been up to. I am definitely considering buying my own because the characters look super cool. I'm hoping to find one that resonates with me. Watch this space. I've really enjoyed this as a community professional to see what they're up to. All right, thanks for watching.